I'm going to go for the next 7.
Huh?
I'm going to go for the next 7.
Okay, that's fine.
Also, I'm really glad to see that everybody has had a cheat sheet so far.
Yes,
I appreciate
yes.
that. So we're doing this as a roast, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, it's so we're going to talk about Nathan a lot today, of course. So I want to take a minute and talk about the Garners. That's all right. I'm not going to make it through this at all.
Well, I already had somebody to read my speech for me, so you can do that if you want.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
do you want to pinch hit? No, I'm just kidding. You guys have always been the epitome of a second family to me, and I appreciate it so much. Even now, if somebody wants to open that beer for me, I would appreciate it.
Here. Nathan taught me to do it on the table.
Even now, 20 years later, I'm just going to read this because if I look at all of you, it's going to get worse.
That's what I did. Yeah.
I feel as though I know you all of the Garners. I mean, Cassie's a little bigger than I remember, but to see a group of people with such uniquely different personalities be so close is beautiful. And the way you all immediately and completely rallied around Nathan is heartwarming. I can do this, I promise.
You don't have to look at it.
I know I'm not alone in feeling like a part of the family in many ways, and it's one of the many reasons I've enjoyed my friendship with Nathan all these years. I've lived in your basement, taken you to prom. I tried to sell your boyfriend's car for $10. And I power slid your own Honda Accord through the garage and knocked the workbench out through the back wall of it. Despite all of that, you accepted my Facebook friends requests. On behalf of all of us to whom you've opened your home and your hearts over the years, thank you, Garners. It's no surprise that someone like Nathan came up in an environment like that. I'm not doing good on the whole jollity thing, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's one of the brightest people I've ever known. Nathan loved challenges. I don't really think I need this. Can everybody hear me without that?
Yeah.
Cool. Nathan loved challenges, but he played a lot of tennis with me anyway. He's the only person I've ever actually enjoyed playing tennis with, true story, even though it was generally pretty embarrassing for me. If I won, it felt like a victory, but as one-sided as our matches usually were, he never seemed bored or gave up on it. I've always believed that he genuinely liked to see people improve and felt good about taking an active role in that. I think that's part of what led him to be a teacher. I can still kind of remember what he wrote in my graduation card from the whole family. We're all really proud of you, and I know you're destined for really great things. Whatever you choose to do in life. Wait, Mom just told me this was for Aaron Standridge. Hey, man, I hope you get hit by a bus. This sort of understanding and encouragement helped shape my life in a variety of ways. In Nathan, I had a techie friend before it was a thing that everyone did. We would constantly fiddle with computers, take them apart back in the day when you had to set your own interrupt requests. That guy knows what I'm talking about. Trying to overclock them. The year that we lived together in Knoxville, he started his own business purely to get a reseller ID so that he could buy cheaper parts. Always found that pretty clever. Having someone who understood my techno-babble was invaluable, and he helped solidify an interest that stuck with me all these years. It's no surprise to me that we both wound up with similar computer-related careers, him in education and then business and me in game development. He could have done anything, of course. Nathan was nothing if not extremely clever. Sometimes that clever got him into trouble, and by him I mean us. Nathan's automotive exploits are pretty legendary and well documented, sometimes in like an official legal capacity. I don't intend to go into the details of those. I think enough other people probably have done that so far. But I will note that these same members of Cleveland's finest, who nicknamed me Crash, referred to him as Speedy, quite rightfully. On the afternoon that my poor Mustang met Meredith Vines' Volvo at a stop sign, one of the very few wrecks I had that was not my fault.
Not your fault.
Not my fault. The responding officer took my information and then asked me, "You know Speedy, don't you?" "Yeah, it's too bad he wasn't here. You probably could have gotten out of the way in time." So sometimes I think just knowing him got me into trouble with cars, or in general. We totally, absolutely never snuck out at night. I say this because my parents are over there. And at one point I was grounded, no doubt for not sneaking out at night. So my trusting parents grounded me and then promptly left town with explicit instructions that I could go out, but I could not drive, which seemed fair. So of course we immediately drove to Gatlinburg. But we got back in time and everything was cool. And then later that night, I don't know where Stacy went. But later that night, we were at Stacy Poteet's house at a party, and Nathan comes running to the house and is like, "Hey, you've got a phone call. You've got a phone call. I think it's your parents." And I was like, "What?" So I go in there, and yeah, they had checked the mileage before we left, and knew that I had been driving, and immediately called us both home. Mortifying stuff, guys. Thanks. But that sort of thing just came with the territory, you know what I mean? We were honestly pretty inseparable for several years of our lives, several very formative years of my life. And it was a never-ending, unpredictable, and vaguely dangerous adventure, full of unrepentant sarcasm and a complete disregard for speed limits. We learned from each other, we mocked each other, we took off in random directions on a whim. We got each other into and out of trouble with equal regularity, including a poorly considered plan that got us both kicked out of Psych 101 at UT. Sorry, you had to find that.
I never heard about that.
I know. Nobody ever heard about that.
I was gonna say, I was living with him, and I don't think I heard about it.
So I know the idea was to tell funny stories, and my whole life growing up with Nathan was one big funny story with wild shades of inappropriate. And so I really want to thank you all for being here. It means so much to me and the Garners. I can't wait to hear the stories that you guys have, because to my discredit, Nathan and I lost touch for a long time, and I've kept up with Kelly better than I have with Nathan. And so those of you who have kept up with him, thank you for filling in the blanks for me, for Nathan. So God bless you.